I could rap.
Oh, did you? It's a new executive session. The girls had to young man. Yes. My daughters always tell the story. Some of those. A couple of situations, I'm like, how that? Yeah, I just said, you know, shocking. Take the stuff. It's a bit of a rude conversation. So if someone really disrespects you, that's right. Hear them scream. Said so we went to the cutlery section. We got this giant Bowie knife. It says Winchester. I said, oh, wait, brother has to have a name. I said Winchester or something like Winchester. So we called Chester in the lesson. We put it where the wooden bear had bread. Oh, yes. There's, but my girls have told me about Chester. It's good. It's good. Yeah, it's about it. Nice.
So, you're enjoying it. Snorkeling.
Yeah, I got little dogs soon, so.
You know, you have to like put something on it.
I tried doing that, I'm gonna say too. Dogs doing this, I just, cut me a straight trail. She's running back and forth, zigzag, I'm not following.
Little space dug out at the bottom of the stairs for the dogs and the bottom of the stairs is one fall and that.
Yeah. Snow caves and all that stuff.
I just saw 15, 17. Yes.
Yeah.
On Thursday it says.
It's fine for us. Like,
Yeah, it just depends on how the issue is pushed, because sometimes you'll be like, slow down.
yeah, sometimes, but they're actually, but they're predicting for. I saw snow like 17 inches over.
Yeah.
It's not gonna-
In person. I heard this Joe tonight.
Me too.
I don't know.
No, we're not looking into our 10 o'clock, we're not really. Gee, I'm scared. Mary. You're not down?
Yeah, let me just say it's terrible.
But
We'll see how it goes, but I just want you all to know that I've had a wonderful 70-degree day, sunshine, I'm gonna miss the snow, I can't complain. But I'm only in Kansas, so it's not that cool.
Oh. Alrighty, I'm seeing 6 o'clock, so let's go ahead and get this party rolling. I would like to call the meeting of the Board of Selectmen of the Town of Georgetown to order. It is Tuesday, March 12th, 2024, 6 p.m. So let's go ahead and start with the pledge of allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. All right, I am Lynette Kelsey, police judge. Sounds like Rob may be on his way, so we'll call his name last. Amanda Cooper. Here. John Jennings.
Here.
Dwayne Gazinski.
Here.
Mary Smith.
Here.
And Rich Barrows.
Here.
And Rob Connell walks in the door. All right, great. So, agenda approval, do we have anything that we need to add or change on the agenda? Okay. We'd like to make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
I motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to approve the agenda. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Audience business. Members of the audience have 5 minutes to present any matter of interest related to the business of the town that is not already on the agenda. We have any audience business tonight? Either in the room or online? Nope. None? Okay, moving right on. The payables that we've got tonight are from February 22nd through March 7th, 2024. Any comments or questions on the payables?
I'll make a motion to approve the payables dated 2/23/2024 to 3/7/2024.
I'll second.
Okay, been moved and seconded to approve the payables. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And the motion passes. Next, we have the minutes of our last meeting, which was on February 27th, 2024. Any corrections to the minutes? I gave Jen a couple earlier today, and she did a revised.
Yeah, and I can read
Wanna
through
read
those if
those?
you want.
Great, that would be wonderful.
Okay, so under audience business, James Billingsley, I just added that we had received a written complaint earlier in the day at the town hall office prior to the meeting. And then on page 3, under updated Verizon lease agreement, at the end of the first paragraph, we added and went month to month after that regarding the lease agreement that had expired December 31st, 2023. And then on page 4, under the fire authority discussion, changed it, the second to the last paragraph to, or sentence in the paragraph to read, in the current IGA, section 33 allows for the IGA to be renewed for 2 one-year periods by written agreement of the parties. And provided that at least 4 of the parties request the extension, Fire Chief Babian stated that the Idaho Springs, Empire, and Silver Plume are all considering requesting the extension. And the County Emergency Services District will be holding additional meetings of the parties to the IGA in the coming months to discuss the suggestions for the draft organizational assessment. And
That is it.
that's it.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to accept the minutes as amended.
I'll second it.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes as amended. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Next, we move on to our action items. First on the agenda is Bob Hamilton, and he's here to give us an update on Stroud Park. The refresh.
You should all have the monthly report from February in your packet.
Be happy to answer any questions on that. Just wanted to come tonight to let you know that we are moving forward with Strauss Park. The flagstone material is here, except for one truckload, we still have one truckload to come, but it's stored up on Third Street in the parking lot. I've gone out to Lunsford to get updated pricing from what they had last year. And I should be going out this week to probably Toma for the concrete work. Those are the two big items. The electrical work is, I checked with him, this local electric. They, have finally confirmed that they ordered the light poles, which I've been chasing since last November. And I've also been in contact with the local distributor that represents the manufacturer, so I'm getting backdoor information out. So she's supposed to check and let me know when they're gonna be delivered, but probably 4 to 5 weeks is what I've heard on. I've met with, business promotions and Parks and Rec in the last week, just to kind of confirm and tell them the same thing I'm telling you. One of the suggestions that was made was, do we want to enclose another section of booths with permanent, green countertop type stuff like we did on the end, on the L section? We have sufficient material to do that. We'll have to buy, hardware and stuff like that, but, and then the labor to put it together. But the consensus was that probably would be a good idea to enclose the area, right as you come through the pass through. I think there's a picture in the package showing what that would look like. The driver for it and the suggestion was that's a cold area, and by putting a permanent countertop in there, it makes it usable more readily usable all year round. And it will help keep the heat in that area as well. It doesn't get any sun there at all, so. Again, the consensus was to go ahead with that, so I think we probably have sufficient budgets. Go ahead and do that, so we plan on working that in over summer. That's about all I had. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. Anybody have any questions? Well, I am going to be looking at the feasibility and cost of enlarging the parking lot. That was suggested last year. I just need to get it laid out and see what's involved. One thing I was gonna ask Rick, since he's here, I'll ask him now. Does the town have somebody that can do, like tree inspection work? There's the trees on the south. Yeah, on the south side of the parking lot along Fifth Street, there's been reported a lot of damaged branches and things in there that they probably stand to be trimmed. I've heard comments that the pine tree in the parking lot is dying.
I haven't,
I think we always use land. It works, right?
That's what we use as land in the.
Right.
Right.
And then the other thing is that, cottonwood tree in Strauss Park, the one on the corner there by the monument, that really needs some work. I mean, there's a lot of dead stuff in that tree. It probably needs to be looked at and at least cleaned up, trimmed. So that's a thought that if the town has somebody and was willing to spend a little bit of money, that's probably money well spent to do that assessment. And now's the time of year to do it in the springtime, so.
well, don't we usually have somebody from Lanning come out in the spring to
Yeah,
take a look and review?
I can add that to our spring list.
I'll send you an email with the items on it, so that
Yeah, if you can give me specifics and I'll
Yeah.
send it to them.
it would be great.
Do you have a time frame on the paving that I was kind of read on here? Like it says still needs to be,
I would like to get the flagstone in before the 4th of July, that's the target.
Okay.
Whether that's possible or not, is gonna depend a whole lot on weather, and, if we get 10 feet of snow, it's not gonna help. I'm hoping that they're gonna be able to start mid-April. I told them that would probably be the earliest that they could come in, but, it's all gonna be weather. And, it'll take them a while to do that, and then the concrete work would, try to get the concrete work over the parking lot side, so that can follow later. But I'd like to get the park done, including planted, by Fourth of July. That's kind of what I told him. We'll see how that works out.
All right. Any other questions?
Bob.
for
Thank
anyone?
you so much. Bob.
Thank you, Bob.
I'll just make a comment too. I did reach out to, the owner of the apartment building that's behind Strauss Park parking lot. And let them know, we have sent now 3 notifications to the owner so that he would notify his residents to not park in that overnight. And for the most part, they've been pretty compliant, except for the basement, apartment area. And so I said, please notify them again, because this is it. This will be the 3rd warning. We're gonna start ticketing from here on out. And so he said he would I've let them know every single time, but, do what you have to do. So I've also reached out if they wanted to do like a parking license program, to pay into something to allow that, but at this point, they both denied that. So we're just gonna have to, start enforcing it. All of our parking lots are no overnight parking, so it's no different. And it's all town and property up there too. So that's just another thing.
Great. Next, we have Ryan Zabel, Public Works Supervisor, and he's got, bridge.
This is 7th Street for rail, and everyone's aware of it. This started with the scooter, someone went to Asia. I kind of found I need to kind of get this moving. There was a few optional bids. It's been inspected where the other side is still good. It may need some upgrading, so we may just flip the top to save it, but I think obviously everyone wants to see the south side done and redone, and so on. This was the bid that we had gotten from Wheeler. Wheeler's done all of the bridges. Wheeler did the bridge even that spans the dam. So besides the road bridges, they've done our footbridges also. So I think any of the material that we've gotten through them, I didn't check it through, but that was from what Scott got. They came out and did it. We have the engineer drawings and everything like that, so I think it's time to get that ordered because it's 12 to 16 weeks out so I mean, this is, past 4th of July,
Right.
And that would be done for 4th of July, because we have a horse-drawn carriage. So it's time to just get this ordered, get this repaired. I think we've already done our insurance due diligence that we're not getting or whatever, so now it's just time to move forward and say, let's get this ordered. The team has done, we did bridges, we put in full bridges before. We did with B, Daryl, and John Curtis did 2 bridges, I think probably in 15 or 16. This is just a repair. This is just a like for like rail. This ain't even doing a design. This ain't even changing the design of it. So. Questions? This one.
Okay, need a bridge. There is suggested.
The quote from Wheeler Lumber LLC to provide replacement materials for the south side of the 7th Street Bridge rail system not to exceed $15,535 even.
I'll second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to approve the quote from Wheeler Lumber LLC. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that motion passed.
Day 1 starts tomorrow.
Okay,
Thanks, Frank.
thank you.
12 to 16 weeks.
It's okay. Time to, or just
I
come out.
don't know.
Yeah.
It's anything to kind of say to that. Did you guys have a good evening?
Thank you, Brian.
Yep.
We could put flat in time.
No. Okay, moving on. Ordinance number 3, series 2024. This is the public hearing and second reading. An ordinance of the Board of Selectmen for the town of Georgetown, Colorado, amending Title II of the Georgetown Municipal Code governing the composition of the Planning Commission. So since it is a public hearing, I'm gonna open the public hearing. It is 6:16. And do we have anybody here to make public comments? Yes.
I'm Nick Gerber. I'm the chair of the planning commission. So I was not able to make it during the last meeting. I was, however, online. I don't think anybody noticed. The reason why I, wanted to change from 5 to 7 seats is because while sitting on the board, the town has we have made a lot of decisions for the town with a quorum of 3. A lot of decisions I have felt that were detrimental to the town. And having only 3 people make those decisions, I felt was not right. So I discussed it with several people and we made the decision to bring it up to the board, and everybody felt it was a great idea to move from 5 to 7. And we had a whole lot of people interested in the board at the time. And so it was easy to do. And it was voted on and passed unanimously and brought to y'all. The only thing I did not add to that, that I would like y'all to amend is it being a quorum of 5 and not 4. That makes sense.
I don't think that.
It's gotta be 2/3. I mean, it's kind of a set thing of what the
Yeah.
quorum is.
Y'all can't,
Not really.
No.
I mean, the
well, we
same
don't have a police judge to.
break ties.
Yeah. So,
Well, but there are procedures, that are commonly used when a tie occurs. Do you have that circumstance happening much?
but we don't have, no, not currently, because
Okay.
we don't have 7 seats.
Okay. So, yeah, I understand your concern, because a tie can be a little more difficult to handle, and you don't have one non-voting member to break that tie,
Right.
but there are procedures out there to, you rediscuss, you take a vote again, there are things you can do, so I think sticking with your form, because it's my understanding, it was the reason that your numbers were reduced in the first place was because you were even having trouble coming up with a quorum of 4. And so it just seems like, yeah, you're gonna have ups and downs in your participation, but I think it's good now that participation is up to bring it back up to 7, but I hesitate to start, jerking around with the numbers that constitute a quorum.
Okay.
So, you're aware of the amendment that was suggested last
I am, I
meeting?
don't agree with it.
Okay. Okay. I went out, I couldn't tell because I don't know where everybody on the commission lives. But do we currently have
We do.
one person from each ward
We do.
already? So, so the board felt like that was an important thing to have representation, at least one from each ward.
I understand.
So, okay. Okay, well, thank you for heading up that commission, and we appreciate you bringing this to us.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay, all right, thank you. So, anybody online? No, public comments? No, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and close the public comment portion of the,
Oh, wait, now there's a
Okay.
message.
okay,
No.
okay. That was easy. Okay, public comment period is closed. Okay, board discussion. Anybody have anything further to talk about on this?
Comfortable with the changes that were made.
So am I.
Okay, Mary, anything?
Nope, I'm good with where it is. Thank you.
Okay, okay. All right. So, I believe there's a suggested motion.
I'll move to approve the second reading.
That was scary.
Should I?
Go ahead.
I move to approve the second reading of ordinance 3, series 2024.
I'll second that.
Okay, been moved and seconded to approve ordinance number 3 on second reading. All in favor, say aye.
Hi,
Any opposed? None, so motion passes. Public hearing is now closed. It's 6:21. Okay. And we're on to staff items. So I think the police report is on the top of our list.
I'm gonna stand not too close to the owl.
Stand over the podium.
Yeah. Use nice timing.
On the X.
Well, fine.
Not too much to report in law enforcement, nothing really major going on. Small items, calls, I already included in the report, we're seeing a significant uptick in pursuits. Known violent offenders. So I'm looking at some, equipment for the vehicles that may assist in that, in either tracking, which would be an alternative to pursuing, or stopping the pursuit before it ever gets going. So I'm just kind of looking at that stuff to see how it's gonna, pair with the vehicles we have, how cost effective it is, and what the effect, the overall effect will be, you know? So anyway, I'm kind of mulling over that. Kim is moving along, she's received some additional training in benchmark, which will allow for state mandated training to be input into the system. And some other management of personnel, which we don't really have, we don't deal with, we don't have, right now it's just me. So there is no personnel. You know, it would be a big deal on larger part, this task. So, she's working on that. She's waiting for OSIN still. It's gonna be a little bit for that. Then she can move into other things. But right now, she's getting adjusted to, some of the systems that she's starting to learn about, go to training. And then hopefully when she's kind of, you know, I won't say mastered, when she has a good handle on that, she'll have the OSN and then she can move on to other things. And then, finally, we're just preparing for the upcoming, snowmageddon event. And, we'll see where that takes us. If they close the interstate at 205 and the 259, then it makes life much easier for us. There won't be any traffic. And so hopefully with this size event, there will be some floor planning and they can, they'll make a decision as to whether or not to do that before traffic is so built up here that we can't get them off the interstate, or they start to pile up in Georgetown and wreak havoc on our infrastructure and the ability for emergency services to effectively respond to calls. So anyway, it could go either direction at this point. So we're just prepared for the worst, and hopefully the best will come out of this. But it certainly seems like we're going to get quite a bit of snow. I suggested earlier that we implement, so we have volunteers that go out to these different traffic points, either parking lots or actual traffic points where traffic can become congested and get them flowing and directed to a parking area. But if things get too bad, I suggested creating a safety patrol position, where we have some people who are trained, who have some experience in either EMS, fire, TIMS, which is the traffic incident management system, to actually occupy a unmarked vehicle to go out and look for people who might be stuck in snowbanks, people who may be having medical issues, and public services such as ambulance and fire are stretched thin and they can't get to them right away. That these individuals or this individual will be able to handle those incidents, whereas I am dealing with a larger, you know, such as traffic issues, at a closure, or I'm on a more serious call. And I think that would bolster just public safety in Georgetown alone during, you know, these rare significant winter events, but really any sort of natural event that takes our, you know, public service facilities and resources and put some, you know, way out in the county, where then they have to go down to the metro or to Summit County to deliver patients. Anyway, that's kind of a suggestion we, you know, to look at and maybe help in the future. So that's where we're at. I obviously didn't include that on the report because I tried to get my report done early so that I didn't have, I wasn't kind of punched for time in doing this, but then things come up afterwards that I think is worthy of reporting, so that's.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, John.
Any questions? Okay. Next.
Rick, do you want me to do this now? Okay. So following up on John's talking about the weather events, this is my.
Georgetown, weather and view.
Just never got into this.
No problem. I'm sorry, Mary, I should have emailed it to you.
Thank you.
I will do that
I'm
later.
sitting here waiting with bated breath for it to come over on email. I'll stay up all night waiting for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mary, do you want one?
Yeah.
No, you go. Thanks.
So I've mentioned this before, this is our plan for if I-70 closes and travelers are forced to wait in Georgetown. It has emergency personnel with contact information. It has concerns, the concerns that I laid out before, which are traffic clogging roadways and preventing emergency access, overburdening public safety emergency services, and limited accommodations in town, specifically food and beds. Some solutions that we've talked about are, as John said, deploying volunteers to different locations to make sure the traffic is flowing, that people have information, that they know what restaurants and hotels and parking lots are available. Yes, so Rick has also implemented, 2 codes, code yellow and code red. So if I-70 shuts down, we will go into code yellow. We will be deploying volunteers and staff to the locations listed: town hall, downtown, county parking lot, roundabout, I-70 exit, the event parking lot, Argentina 22nd, and the lake parking lot. We'll be alerting local business owners about a potential surging clientele, and also preparing facilities such as the school, the community center. I'd like to add the Heritage Center to this. And then we've also contacted a couple of the churches to see if they would be able to accept people in case we really have a lot of people in town. Volunteers would be given high-vis vests, flashlights, and a walkie-talkie. We don't have flashlights yet, but we are working on that. The county also has additional supplies such as cots, blankets. They're purchasing some water and food that they're gonna be putting at the potential shelter locations, just in case we have people that are stuck here overnight and all of our hotels are full. Our center of deployments will be town hall, but Rick and John will be located at the exit and the roundabout, making sure that they're keeping an eye on the cord situation and coordinating volunteers and staff. Law enforcement has discretion then to move the town into code red, where we close our exit and only allow people into town, based on if they're locals or if they're visitors with lodging reservations or visitors in dire need of a gas or a restroom, and then anyone experiencing a medical emergency. So only people who have to come into town will be allowed to. There's a list of supplies and a list of shelters and parking capacity. So this is for staff and volunteers, and you guys to have so that people know what to do in the event of this. This fun thing right here, this brochure would be to hand out to visitors that are stuck in Georgetown. It's just a little information sheet that lets them know what lodging is available in town, what places are available to eat at. It has 2 QR codes, one that takes them to visit Georgetown and one that takes them to the CDOT CoTrip website so that they can keep an eye on road conditions. On the back here, we have this really lovely simple map that Jess made that's easy to read as far as what parking locations people will be asked to go to. And that is to keep the roads clear again, so that we can allow people into town without clogging roads, so emergency services are still having access. And of course, we have no idea if this will work or not, so.
That's a great job. I think it looks good.
So, any questions about that?
Good job. Sounds like
Yeah.
good plan and hopefully you don't have to test it.
But I was on the map is to maybe label like 2 major streets, like 11 maybe or Argentine, just for people that don't have the.
And the other thing I was worried is that somebody will say, I want to stay in a hotel in Paris.
And 6.
You know?
Oh, yeah, exactly. Doesn't, you don't need all of them, but just
Right.
like some, so that way if someone gets to 6, they're not like,
Argentine and Rose.
yeah, that would be the only suggestion I would have for the map.
That's great.
The other thing is just to put out their Hotel de Paris Museum, just so that people don't think that they can stay there.
That's a very good point.
Yes, they go wrong.
I stay there, it's not fun.
Very good.
There's stuff out on social media too that implies that they rent out rooms and, yeah, they get those calls all the time. Yeah.
Jess has also recommended that we put the numbers and letters of his seat and lodging on this map.
Yeah.
I just have not had the time to do that.
Yeah, this looks great though.
Yes, this is good.
This looks
Yeah.
great. I love the QR code.
As long as co-trip's up.
Is it right? Is it go down?
Co-trip goes down all the time.
Oh, really?
It's, yeah, I mean, I think it just gets overwhelmed with traffic
Right.
on, was it Friday? Yeah, it's Friday. Whenever the highway closed, no, it wasn't even actually closed, I don't even know, nobody knows. We just got inundated and it was really bad traffic, but co-trip was down.
No, actually, the weather was worse than 30.
Yeah,
Yeah. I was driving down and it was,
I know, yeah. Whatever then.
Yeah.
Hopefully tomorrow, Thursday, they'll close it way before we get up here, so you don't have to worry about it, but
Yeah.
we have something ready.
Yeah.
Thanks so much. Thank you.
This is really.
Great.
Anything else for us?
Yes, so other things I've been working on, you guys know about the Justin Scott driveway BLM situation. So Jerry and I did send out letters to all of the adjacent neighbors on that. So they should have that. We also sent a letter to the Bureau of Land Management. And then other stuff, you know, about, I'm working on some DRP things, I'm working on some things with the building, was big built. And updating some forms. Our road and bridge department, that's a building permit thing. Yeah, that's.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
Great, so, kudos to Tasia and Jess for working on this. I mean, we've been working on this for probably for a month and trying to fine tune it, and we've had meetings with the county emergency manager and reviewed it, and she was really impressed about the amount of work that we put into it, and, of course, no plan is foolproof, and you always try to make the best out of a bad situation, and so that's what we're doing.
I think if you get something like that to somebody who's stuck.
Yeah.
And they'll be impressed.
Yeah.
At the very least, that they have now some information where, I guess they could have Googled it, but still.
Yeah, and that's why it's impressive how much they've worked on this to create at least contact information.
The bandwidth of those people who are stuck is honestly pretty shot by the time they get there.
Yeah.
So having
There you
something cut and dry for them.
Perfect.
Yeah, believe me, I've always almost run over 3 times. People were so mad.
Bill, another quick question I have is, if we get them on the snow, if it happens that fast, we're gonna be able to keep these parking lots clear to park cars.
Yes.
And are with the cars being there.
Yeah, so we'll have multiple teams, that's a good question. We'll have multiple teams, all of our staff, road and bridge, Kevin also will be part of it, and so we will have crews plowing main streets and then plowing the parking lots to get ready for this. So we talked about that, so that was part of our plan, with our staff, just what it's gonna take to pull this off. Now, the understanding of a code yellow is really a restricted access, restricted to these spots that are highlighted on the map. And so, once these spots, and we're gonna push them to the further parking lots first, once those get full, then we'll bring them back and we'll have everyone, each person will be on a walkie-talkie communicating to me, and we'll just kind of stop it once they tell me how many cars left, and then I'll stop it there and we'll move to the next parking lot. And think about this, code yellow is really gonna be a short span of time. Because once we bring in 1,000 cars, that's about all we can handle. So that's not very many people off the interstate, and then we'll have to reroute it back. And then, like Keisha said, it will be emergency access only, locals. And if usually what we did before is we make them park on the ramp and then walk to Circle K, because it's too hard to get them in and back out. So we'll reserve them and keep them moving so they can pull over. Everyone screams, I'm out of gas. So since I will be triaging, I visually look at their gas tank, to see where it is. And then, of course, it's like, move along. Again, you like to move along. And so they all say it, and then I verify. I've never once saw somebody on E, but they tell me that. So I verify it. But if somebody's in like a EV, then we'll point them to the EV stations. However, none of ours are ready for Teslas unless they have the adapters. So I'll make sure I communicate that to them, not to move to either, keep going to either Springs. I don't think it's gonna be a big deal, like what John said. I was on the meetings today with the National Weather Emergency Service and then CDOT, and we talked about, they're predicting 18 to 24 inches in Georgetown. Of course, that it's a prediction, they don't know it's an upslope, and so it could just sit here and dump. But from Vale to Evergreen is the targeted area. Evergreen is gonna be hit the hardest. They're predicting 4 feet. Evergreen and Conifer area. So if you're around that area, I suspect the interstate will shut down there. And so that will help alleviate a lot of people coming here. However, there will be people between that. And so we'll have to just help them. And I don't know if they're gonna be able to get back. I mean, that's the problem. It's like if it dumps like that, Thursday is gonna be the worst day. And John and I will probably be on another meeting tomorrow with CDOT, they're not planning to shut anything down, they're just ready. And they're watching things, and so they'll make it as needed. So those meetings are important. Suzanne Baca is also gonna be involved with us. She's on our contact, but she's been involved with me and Keisha all day long talking. We're planning in case, the worst case scenario where it does get shut down and people are stranded. So the school we're looking at,
Possibly.
I know, I talked to Mel, you guys are understaffed, we may have to step in and help.
Yeah, and we can talk about that after the
Yeah.
meeting, but we'll do an MOU, sorry, this is my school board hat, but yeah,
Yeah.
we can't guarantee the school.
Okay, well, that's on pause, but we're hoping we can work something out. Now, we do have a community center that we will use. And then we're gonna also talk to the 3 churches in town to see if there's overflow spots as well.
We have
So,
confirmation for the Presbyterian church.
you did?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yeah, if you talk to, the priest for the church, because we have keys, there's a number of people that have keys. PJ and I help maintain that church, so.
Okay,
Yeah, which I talked to John, or we talked to John,
John?
and he wasn't too high on it because of the fact that there's only that one small bathroom there.
Right.
And there's really nobody, I mean, we could come down, sit it open, but I know in the past years, it has been used as both. I don't know if it was ever used, but it's designated. So I could say right now, probably no.
And then is Tom Elliott maybe a contact for the Episcopal Church?
I think Christine Wright.
Or Chris?
Yeah,
So they have that. Once it gets
yeah,
in.
we're planning on shoring those details up tomorrow.
Okay.
We have gone to Circle K and the visitor center and informing everyone in that area, stay tuned. We're all trying to work together on this, and so everyone's in good spirits right now. Again, I think, once we open and move people, move cars, it's only gonna work as good as people cooperate with us. And so as I'm by the interstate. It'll free John up to try to keep the roads going. I think the other problem that they're anticipating is once the interstate reopens, and then that, surge of traffic blocking everything, and so it'll almost be like a round two of all of us coming back to help, because we don't know how long. I mean, we shut down, some of us will be there to make sure, but now we won't need all the staff. But then when we start reopening, we're gonna have to, block the road, or at least have somebody, traffic control, or John can do that, or his designee, so. But we have a plan, and we're gonna be working together on it.
Can I ask a question? Maybe John, this might be a question for you. Couldn't the Colorado State Patrol also throttle in other words, once they open the highways, couldn't they actually time the emptying of certain parking lots so that it doesn't create a log jam on the highways?
They try to meter traffic in places they can.
Right.
And they're talking about, safety closures during this event, which is a larger scale metering of the traffic. But so State Patrol, like everyone else, is way down.
Got it.
They're bringing in 3 extra troopers to work this event.
Wow.
For the Golden area. So yeah, it's, I mean, manpower is just,
Yeah.
that's why I brought up safety patrol.
Sure.
So that I can be in more places than one.
Right.
If somebody needs immediate attention or help and they can't call, or we don't know about it until it's too late, that just allows,
Right.
me to be in more places one time. It's just, that's kind of the ideas we're having to go with. Because we don't have, no one does.
Sure.
I mean, the sheriff's office is gonna be, they're probably gonna be 2 deputies during this. 2 deputies tied up somewhere, and now something happens and they're not in the close proximity, now I go and deal with it, and I'm no longer in town. So that's kind of where we're all at.
Got it. No.
So just, 2 more things, well, I got a couple of things, but, Channel 31 was here today, and they did a story, like one of their focus stories, of small towns, mountain towns, and how they're experiencing this and preparing for this. So it was really good. I took a bunch of pictures, John's like, front stage on there. So he's our local celebrity. We'll take all our later. And then Channel 9 is coming tomorrow to do a story. So they want to see in the moment, in the action, so that's gonna happen at 5 o'clock. So they're gonna come report live, so I can't wait, I'm excited.
Did you get an autograph from Vicente?
No. No, he was here, for 4, 5, and 6.
They're already
live. Yeah, he came and.
I will also throw for this storm, in the event it's so bad that we can't open, the town could use our parking. And I can communicate that to you guys. If everyone can get to work and be open, which would be our goal, but if we can't use our building, you guys can use our parking lot.
Okay. And I assume you guys will make the call sometime Wednesday night for about Thursday.
I'll probably decide about 10:45 on Thursday morning, if that's how I.
Okay, a couple other things. Kurt Sukup came and brought the engineered drawings that have been updated from the comments that Ryan and Craig made on that. And so I've got all the comments that they said he said he addressed every comment on it. So I have that, we're gonna go over it this week. Me, Ryan, and Craig will go through it, and our plan is to have this vetted by Friday so that we can move forward, giving it to Safehold to go ahead and start the permit process. So I'm excited about that. The watershed protection permit, I sent a draft to Excel reviewed the draft. They had some minor comments. I sent it to Jerry has corrected that, sent it back to me, and I will give it back to him tomorrow. So I told him I would have it ready by Friday, so we'll have it tomorrow. So that's a good thing. And then they can start moving forward. There's nothing else forbidding them. And it's really 3 things. It's to address the penstock replacement, the elbow, to take it off, which is already done, but it's, we're saying we authorize it now. The second is a trash rack replacement. It's going from a 1-inch string holes to a 3-inch string holes, allow more flow. Sediment will go through it regardless. But they're also adding a copper box so that sediment will fall into that before it goes to the, over the overspill. So those are the three things that this, and then there's a water quality sampling plan and a notification plan that we agreed upon. That will be part of this, but it's ongoing because it will be ongoing for the whole project. That's when those things happen. So that's what that permit is. Once that's done, then once it's signed, it's done, and I'll sign it this week. Then we're gonna have another meeting, which Lynette will be part of that one. And that will be a meeting to do this, so it'll be the second watershed permit, but it'll address the bypass. So the bypass will bypass the whole reservoir, and that's to address the concern that we had about the sediment. That as the water's moving through it, it's picking up the sediment and it's turning it into our system, which is wreaking havoc with our water plant and our filtration system. So every time it rained, we were getting a surge of sediment. Every time they release water, we're getting a surge of sediment, and it's like a bathtub with mud in it, and every time you turn the thing, it just runs the mud down the drain, and that's what's happening in our system. This bypass would bypass the whole net, so it would allow all runoff, spring runoff, and regular runoff to bypass back into the system without going into the reservoir, so that we can test it, know what's in the sediment, and then they can come up with a plan to remove that sediment, part of the decommissioning process.
Didn't you buy a second skid of filters? At the water plant?
We did a replacement.
Has it wreaked havoc on the lumens on the inside of those filters?
I'd have to let Ryan.
That's okay, don't worry. I just thought, maybe, didn't we get some money to replace those?
We did, and we replaced it.
There you go, so good.
We sure did. It did destroy our system, and they replaced it anyway.
Right.
So, but again, if we don't do something, it's gonna do it again.
Right.
And that's what that's about. Road and bridge, just an update, one of the snowplows is down, and it's the big snowplow that we had that has the sander on it. And so I know it's like, of course, it has to happen right now. But they're working on it. They were working on it all day. They're hoping to get it back online tomorrow. But they reassured they have 3 total, a 4 total, the 4th one is a small one, but they still have one. The water and wastewater plant has a snowplow too that can be used as a backup in our system. So we'll be fine, we'll make it through this. We also have a snow box, so that's to remove large quantities of snow. And so we did that last year in anticipation for something like this. So I'm excited because we did our due diligence to be ready for this. They're also gonna be interviewing to hire another road and bridge operator since Sean resigned. And so that's gonna be happening, I want to say this week. We have 3 applications, candidates to be interviewed. We're also working on an ice removal plan near the bridge that should be built up.
We've been lucky this year.
Yeah.
This year, very lucky, no ice standing.
Yeah, but we're trying to come up with a plan, probably gonna be working with county to get ahead of that, so it doesn't build up as much as it did last year. And then we're scrambling before it causes damage. So that's part of that. Bob Hamilton is gonna be working with Scooter, to address the lights on Argentine. Evidently, there is some changes that we have to do because of safety concerns, going from regular outlets to the GFI outlets that are appropriate, the kind of code that we're supposed to be doing. And then also we're gonna make sure that the lights are consistent when they're changing out the innards to make it all the same. So we have a consistent pattern going, LEDs and bulbs, we have, I don't know, it's a mix and match and all that, so.
Yeah, and the good news is we'll probably be able to take care of the existing stuff on Argentine. But pretty much anything new going in, which Argentine North is gonna be LED packets.
Okay.
That's just the way the industry is going. And I'm in contact with a couple of different sources on that.
I'm giving you a heads up because, it's something that's important, that you guys said, it's priorities, and it's important to me that even when I came on, and I was gonna take the road seriously and improvements. Our grader is down. The problem with the grader is the hoses that need to be replaced for the hydraulics system, it's underneath the cab, so the cab has to be removed to replace all these old hoses. It's labor intensive, and it's gonna be $24,000 to fix the grader. I'm just letting you know, we don't have it budgeted, and we're trying to figure out how to do this. But I know it's gonna happen come April, the ground thaws. All of our roads are gonna have to be graded like we do every year around that time, and I'm gonna get tons of complaints. And if we don't do anything, we're all gonna get yelled at. And so we're gonna have to fight it somehow and find money to fix this thing. We're struggling because we put money to fix and maintain our equipment, but we're already blown our budget because of other equipment that needs to be fixed. I don't know if you're aware, but the backhoe that we bought for Road and Bridge, some of the bolts around the wheels sheared off. And so we have to fix that, and that blew our budget to fix that.
Oh.
And it's not under warranty. This is just a maintenance. It's a
Kevin can do this?
I wish Kevin could do it. Kevin could do almost everything else. But anyways, that's blown our budget, and it's gonna be coming to you. So we've got to get on this, so.
Okay.
Kevin, was able to purchase, we'll say Kevin now. So Kevin went to one of these, what do you call it, sale?
Auction?
Like an auction, and found a couple of pieces that he was eyeing to put on his tractor, his little green tractor. And it's a small grader, so it's designed for small areas like our parking lot we can fix. And just keep it smooth, or he bought an attachment that's normally thousands of dollars for $300. So he's always watching these sales, and he's trying to buy a couple other pieces, but he was only able to get this. But that's a significant find.
Put him on a grader.
The what?
Put him on a grader. Find a grader.
I know.
$9,000. Brand new.
I know. We have lots of spring projects coming, so Road and Bridge, up at the school, we're gonna be fixing the 4th Street area, fixing the drainage coming out, all that's gonna be fixed coming this spring. I guess another shout out to John. John puts himself in harm's way, and, I'm concerned, I'm proud at the same time, because he is an awesome guy, and, he could have been hurt really bad recently. And I know he's not mentioning it, but he put himself in significant harm's way, and thank goodness nothing happened. He was able to arrest the guy, but, it's what happens. Even Georgetown, things are happening. So, thank you, John. We're pretty close to finishing this copper line service line, testing that we're doing, lead and copper test. We found eight lead lines, and so for the whole town, there's only 28 to test left. We're way ahead of most municipalities, and so this is a significant thing that Ryan's been doing, and kudos to him as well.
Were those all up in the old part of town, or were some of them down in? Towards the lake?
I thought it sounded like they were towards the lake.
Oh,
No, they were all.
Wherever the Buckley's built.
well, no, I doubt it. I doubt
I've seen it.
Okay.
That's it, that's all I have.
Okay,
That's the big ones.
all right.
I have a question. The issue that was brought up about the temporary 220, was that addressed already, the line that was running over the trail?
Oh, yeah, good question.
Yeah, that's a good question. Safeville, I believe, did contact, I spoke to Kurt Sukup about it. Evidently that line was reconnected, from the hockey guys. They had a guy who was an electrician on the site. He fixed the line. It's turned off still, but I spoke to Kirk about that today and said, Kirk, that's gonna have to be fixed right. But Safeville is also talking to him, so it'll be mandated for him to fix it, but Kirk is aware.
Anything for you, Mary?
Nope, I'm good.
Okay. Anything from the rest of the board? Okay. If that's all we have to do tonight.
I'll make a motion to
I'll move to adjourn. No, I want to adjourn.
adjourn.
You can second it, Mary.
I'll second it.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
Bye.
Any opposed? I think it's record time. It's 6:56.